You've picked your topic and know what question you'd like to address in your research paper. Now it's time to begin finding sources to conduct your research. For a lot of researchers, this can be the hardest part of the process, especially if you're confronted with academic sources, which can be long, dense, feeling like they're written in gibberish, and very difficult to understand. Do not despair. You are not alone in feeling this way. In this tutorial, we will try to tackle this difficult part of the research process and help make it easier for you to understand and utilize academic articles in your research paper. First, what is an academic article? Academic articles, sometimes referred to as scholarly articles, are published works that are typically written by researchers, scholars, or academics for the benefit of their peers in the field, which helps to explain why reading these articles is so difficult. Usually, these articles are a presentation of results from original research that the scholars conducted. They are most often peer-reviewed, which means that they had to go through a rigorous editing and review process before they were published. They also nearly always include a bibliography of sources, which the author drew upon to inform their research, much as you were doing with your own research paper. In contrast are sources we call popular articles, which you can think of as works published in newspapers or magazines that are much easier to read, understand, and generally access online or in person. While some popular articles certainly hold merit when conducting research for your paper, scholarly articles are viewed as the gold standard of information and are more readily accepted in academic environments. On this slide, we can examine two articles on similar topics, a scholarly article on the left and a popular article on the right. Keep in mind that both of these articles may be valid sources for your research, but each serve different purposes in your research and hold different levels of weight when used to prove an argument in a paper. So looking at an academic article, where do we start? First, the abstract. Often found at the very beginning of a paper or in the article's listed record in a database, the abstract is a summary of a paper and provides an overview of the article's content and argument. By reading the abstract, we can often determine right away if this article is relevant to our research and if it will be helpful in proving our own argument. Similar to the abstract is the introduction. This section will give you another general overview and provide background information on the topic or the reason for the author's research. You might also find descriptions or definitions of key concepts, words, or phrases used in the paper. Finally, look at the conclusion, or sometimes it is called the discussion. This is where the author states their final argument and draws conclusions from their experiments. Between the abstract, introduction, and conclusion, you can already go a long way in determining what the thesis or the main argument of this article is. And furthermore, why is this article important and is it relevant to my research? So, you still might be wondering, how do I read an academic article? Well, you don't. Unless you are a scholar in the field, almost no one expects you to read academic articles word for word and understand every bit of it. The best method to reading these works is to skim. Read the section headings and focus on sections you think are most important, looking for key contributions or significant findings. Examine tables, charts, graphs, and bulleted lists, and perhaps highlight words you don't know to look up later. The most important thing to take away from these articles is what the author's main argument is, and determine what the author did to prove this argument. Finally, don't forget about the references. As we discussed in the beginning, nearly all academic articles will have a bibliography, works cited, or references section. Just as you are expected to cite your sources, so are other authors. This section can be extremely helpful to you for finding more sources about your topic, especially if you find articles that are listed in several different references sections. This can be a good clue that the article is widely accepted as good information and provides helpful background on a topic in a field. Reading academic articles is difficult, but by breaking them down and taking each article one step at a time, it'll become easier to tackle this difficult part of the research process, and you will become a better researcher for it.